Are you a registered nurse who is new in the US, or an international nursing student in the US who will soon be graduating and entering into the workforce? If yes, then this video is for you. My name is Shidora. I'm a Nigerian trained nurse, but I'm currently practicing in the USA as a bedside nurse. I've been working in the US for over 4 years now, and I thought to share my experiences with you so that you will not go through the same things I went through or do the same mistakes I made. So today I'll be sharing some mistakes I made as a new international nurse working in the US. So my family and I moved into the US, and it was a dream come true for me, knowing that I'm going to finally work as a nurse in the US. Back in my nursing days, I used to think that I have to have someone or I have to have a family member, or I have to marry someone in the US before I could achieve my American dream. But as God may have it, there are other means and methods available for nurses to migrate to the US and work. So coming back to the topic at hand today, I'll be sharing some mistakes I made as a new registered nurse so that people will learn from it, fellow nurses will learn from it, international nurses like myself will learn from it, international nursing students that intend to work in the US will learn from it and not have to make the same thing. So let's get into it. The first mistake I made as I started working in the US was, one, I had a mindset that I needed to prove myself to my employer. My last nursing job in Nigeria, I was put through a probation period, which was approximately 90 days, which is, let's say, 3 months or 12 weeks, any way you decide to, count it or calculate it. Coming to the US, I had that mindset that it will be the same thing. Though I was informed I'll go through orientation, but I didn't know how it works or what to expect. In my mind, it's going to be the same probation period that I went through. So I started working with that mindset. I have already pre-programmed my mind to work hard and prove myself or show them that I am what I said I am. I mean, show them that I am good at my job. So, yeah, started work. I had a 3 month orientation period, or 12 weeks as they prefer to call it. So one thing about work in the US for everyone, whether you are a nurse that has been working in the US for years or you are a new nurse, you go through an orientation period. So every organization do this thing. I didn't know. I just felt I thought it was just for the international nurses. So for international nurses, it is a little different because we are given a longer time than someone that has been working here for years. So I had my 12 weeks orientation period started. Some of the orientation, part of it was classroom based, while some was clinical. The clinical part is where I work with a preceptor, while the classroom one, we just go to class, we get taught uh, about how things work in the hospital, taught about their policies and pertinent things that they think we should know. Then other things you learn on the job. So I started my orientation. It was fun. There were familiar faces. So we started orientation. After the classroom based one, it was now time for the clinical. Now, mind you, it's not like you have to finish the classroom-based orientation before you start the clinical. They just do. I think the first day of the orientation has to be a classroom-based one. There, they introduce you to people in the facility and other little things that they feel is necessary to talk about. So they show you around and all those stuff before you actually go to start the clinical one. So Again, I had in mind that I needed to prove myself. Little did I know that orientation period here is a period of learning. Though they didn't teach me um, basic nursing, but it was an opportunity for me to learn about the facility, about how they do things, about their policies, and everything that there is to know where things are kept, familiarize myself with the unit, the people, the patients, and the work culture in the facility. I didn't know that. I just felt, oh, I'm here. I need to show them what I've got. So I started. Everything was fine. I just feel like during the orientation, I started doing. No, I will not say too much. I just started taking up responsibility too early. Let's say the first day, I just observe my preceptor do whatever, patient care and everything that there is to do. So the second day, I decided to start taking patients. I worked in a facility that does 6 patients to one nurse. I started with, I think, one and then progressed. I feel like having that mindset that I needed to prove myself to them made me not to enjoy my orientation period, because during orientation, you don't get burdened with a lot of responsibilities. It's a time for you to observe and then practice, do it at your own pace. So I was a little too fast with everything, though I was comfortable because, mind you, I've been a nurse for over 7 years before migrating to the US. So I was comfortable doing those things. They were things that I was familiar with. I feel like having that mindset that I needed to prove myself to my employer made me to be a little hard on myself, because I started taking up responsibilities too early. From I moved really fast from having one patient to, getting the whole I felt like I would have given myself time to actually understand things and gradually progress, because with patient care here, the way things are done, the way documentations are done, were a little different from what I was used to. So I pushed myself so hard, though I didn't have any issues, but I feel like that mindset made me to be too hard on myself. And then usually with the orientation, there's a I think it's a bi-weekly um, face-to-face feedback session the orientee gets with the manager of that unit. So in one of those feedback sessions, I remember being asked if I was comfortable working independently, that if not, I could get an extension. It was a wow moment for me, because I'm like, really? That's what I do for here. I didn't know things like that happened here. I didn't know you could get more time if you feel you are not comfortable yet, feel you are not confident working by yourself. The second mistake I made as a new RN in the US was being shy to ask questions. I felt like asking questions was it would portray me as someone that wasn't knowledgeable enough, or someone that didn't know my way around, especially when it comes to call nursing. But I was wrong, you know. I was always free to ask questions about location of stuff, but when it comes to maybe a nursing procedure or something, I just shied away from it. Sometimes I look the thing up on the internet. Sometimes I ask people, like I ask fellow international nurses. But with time, I realized that I was doing myself a disservice by, shying away from it, or not utilizing resources that are available for me. By resources, I mean charge nurses. Nurses are always there to help you if you need anything. if you have a problem with performing a procedure, you can call them. They do it. Initially, I felt like, oh, they'll think I don't know anything. Oh, they'll think is she really a nurse? Because one of the first questions you get asked, especially when you start out in the US, they'll be like, oh, how long have you been a nurse? And you proudly say the years of nursing that you have accumulated. So, that made me feel a little uncomfortable asking questions. But with time, I'm like, whatever, I can ask any question I want to ask. I remember a time I needed to collect urine sample from a patient that has a Foley catheter. So I know the hospital where I work, there's a policy that if you're collecting urine sample for a urine culture, you and the patient has had this catheter for more than 5 days, you have to take the catheter out and put a new one. But if not, you just take the urine and go your way. So I was conflicted about which one was for which. I needed to collect sample for regular urine analysis. I wasn't sure. I'm like, hey, I asked my coworker, do you know if I have to take the Foley out for the urine analysis? She's like, oh, I'm not sure. You can ask the charge nurse. I didn't have that feeling like she would think I don't know it. I asked her. She's been a nurse for a long time, so as myself, but no one is an island of knowledge. I asked. She said, I'm not sure. You can ask the charge nurse. I went ahead, asked the charge nurse, please, I need to take a urine sample for UA. Do you know if I have to take it out or should I just go ahead and collect? She also said, that's a good question. I'm not sure, but we can both look it up, in the policy. So we went ahead, opened the policy, read the policy on urine sample collection. So we clarified that information, um, verified that we didn't need to take out the Foley catheter or, change the Foley catheter if it's a regular urine analysis and not a culture. So what did this make me achieve? One, it was a learning moment for me. It was a learning moment for the charge nurse. So we clarified that information. Though we have both been exposed to that information, but at the time, our brains could not recollect the exact thing that we're supposed to do. So we both went and reviewed that policy and we verified that. And I went ahead and did what I needed to do. Imagine I did not ask. Imagine I just decided to go and take out the follow because I thought I saw the information somewhere. As much as I did see the information, but for the investigation at hand, it was not necessary. So imagine I didn't ask. What will happen? I'll just put the patient through unnecessary discomfort because we all know catheterization is an uncomfortable procedure. It could be painful for some people, but it's uncomfortable. I would have put the patient through unnecessary discomfort, because of my mistake or because of uh, something I could have clarified with someone else. So, as a new nurse, feel free to ask questions because there is no dumb question. Asking question helps you to make sure you are doing the right thing. It helps you to practice safely because if you're unsure, you verify with someone, it means you're doing the right thing, which keeps you safe, keeps your patient safe. So don't think, oh, they'll see me as dumb. They won't. It's just a question to ensure your patient is safe. It's a question to ensure you're practicing safely. It's a question to protect yourself, protect your license. So there's nothing wrong in asking questions. The third mistake I made as a new nurse in the US was not speaking up for myself. It's not that I was shy to speak up. It's not that I couldn't speak or I couldn't express myself. It's just that one, remember I mentioned that I had a mindset that I needed to prove myself. So because of that, I felt like complaining will, make them see me in a certain way. Though speaking up and complaining are two different things, but I already had a wrong mindset. So that influenced my decision, or will I say, yeah, it beclouded my judgment. So at my early uh, stage of working in the US, I would get really bad assignment. I wouldn't say a word. I would be like, it's fine. I can take care of it. I can handle it. That's how I felt. But it continued. There was a specific one that made me to finally talk. It had to do with money. Yeah. So I feel like if I work so hard, when it comes to money, you shouldn't take my money, or you shouldn't short pay me for any reason. I can endure the bad patient assignment, the heavy patient load, or even ill or rude treatment or from patients. But when it comes to my money, I don't play with it. So one time I was called to come in to work because they needed people to work that night. I think they were short staffed by maybe one. They needed an extra nurse. Remember, this hospital was somewhere that dealt with that had a patient ratio of 6 to 1 nurse. A call from my manager saying, "Hey, Eudora, can you come in tonight?" I said, "Yes." How soon? Because at that first 6 months, if you call me even in my dream, say come to work, I'm getting up, I'm going to work immediately. I don't joke with come and work because I wanted to make money. So I'm like, how soon? He said, "Oh, can you be here by 10?" I said, "Good, I will." I got in there, did the worked that night, went home. I was off work, so I got called. I came in, I worked. My scheduled 3 days or 36 hours, which was the minimum I could do, was supposed to be some days later. Hospital usually gives a certain amount of money per hour as an incentive if you take up an extra shift. But their policy also states that you have to complete your 36 hours before you be eligible. I went into work hoping that I will be able to do my 36 hours. I think I got cancelled the first day of my shift, so I had only 2 days left to work. So that 2 days plus the previous one I had done equaled 36 hours. What does it mean for me? I was ineligible now to get that incentive. It was my loss. So it happened once. I got paid like regular hourly rate. I let it slide. It happened another time. I'm like, this shouldn't be right. If you call me when I'm supposed to be at home resting to come in and work, you should reward me for, availing myself. There should be something, even if it's not the full amount of the incentive, there should be something given to me so that next time I can take your call if you need me. So I thought about it to myself, and luckily, we usually have monthly meetings. It was a program that was initiated for management to hear from the international nurses, hear their concerns, things they think should be, modified, or things they think should be changed, or challenges they are facing. So it was a moment to, air your views, concerns, and ask questions, whatever. So I used it as an opportunity to like, because the meeting was with the the director of nursing in that hospital. So I seized the opportunity. I'm like, I have a question. What happens? I know the policy states this, but what happens if you were called, not that you picked up a shift? It's different when you picked up an extra shift. You are the one in need of the money. Like, yeah, you are the one in need of the money, or you are the one with a higher need for whatever pay than the hospital. If the hospital is calling you, they need you more at the moment, you know. I felt like in situations where I get called. I did not pick up an extra shift, but I get called to come in and help or work for a night where nurses are struggling. Am I not supposed to get something in return? Am I not supposed to be, rewarded or appreciated with some monetary compensation? Instead, I know the policy states that you have to complete 36 hours before you're eligible for this, but don't you think there should be an exception if one was called in? The director of nursing said that whatever had happened in the past was probably a mistake because they usually, reward people. They give you that incentive without the overtime rate. So you get the incentive if you were called, but then could not meet up your 36 hours. It was an opportunity for me to, help other people or help myself so that the event will not happen again. I mentioned it and it was addressed. Imagine I kept quiet because every other person obviously didn't say anything. Imagine I kept quiet. We would just be working and not rewarded accordingly. So that is one. Another moment where I spoke up for myself was a time I think I had 5 patients. Remember, I worked in a unit that has a patient ratio of 6 to 1. So I had 5 patients. I think one was in alcohol withdrawal, one was confused, and maybe one was on a drip or something. I can't remember, but I know that my 5 patients that night were busy. I was I was in a chaotic situation handling the 5 of them. I can't complain because I knew this facility does 6 to 1 and I accepted it. So I was like, I'll deal with it, whatever it is, because some days you have good patients, some days they are bad. It's not always bad. But that night I had 5. I was running helter skelter, trying to make sure I do, what I should do for this patient. And then I was told, hey, Eudora, you're getting the next admission. I said, what? Getting what admission? I went straight to the charge nurse. I called her. Hi, charge nurse. I was told I'm getting the next admission. I know I have 5 patients, but I cannot accept a 6th patient because these are my patients. This is what is going on with them. If you give me a 6th one, I will not be able to take care of all these people. So I don't think I can do that. Someone else has to get this patient. So of course it was in a calm tone. I told her and she discussed with someone else and they decided to give the patient to another nurse. So imagine I did not say a word. I accepted that patient. 2 things will happen. It's either I neglect the care of the new one or one of the old patients that I have, or I'll make a mistake because I was in a chaotic situation. That's the only description I could give to what was going on that night. So I spoke up. She did not give me that patient. And from that day, I started getting really bad cases because I feel like when you don't say anything, when you don't speak up, or when you just absorb whatever happens, you be like, okay, I can deal with this. It's just for a short time. I'll deal with it, no problem. I feel like when you do stuff like this, they keep giving you the bad patient. They keep giving you the chaotic group. They keep giving you the difficult, the very sick patients. Because then I don't know if it was an intentional act, but I just noticed that international nurses usually get the bad patients. So I spoke up. So I'm like, I can't do this. So, because who will get hurt along the line is the patient. I know I have a right to protect myself, but at the same time, I have a right to advocate for my patient. If I accept a difficult assignment or if I accept a very bad group of patients, who is going to suffer? The patient. So speaking up, it's as it's a form of advocacy for your patient, because if you take all those really bad cases, you may make a mistake with one person's medication. You may forget to do a certain thing that another patient needs. You may mix things up. You may not even get the chance to see one of your patients because you have been so busy, and then that patient will be there waiting for their nurse, calling for help, and probably every other person is busy with their own patient. And who suffers? The patient. Nobody will be able to help you if they are busy. Usually, I have learned, that teamwork is a big thing here in the USA. So nurses help each other, but when everybody is drowning, who is going to save you? No one. So it's your responsibility to speak up for yourself. It's your responsibility to speak up to protect your patient, protect yourself, protect your license. Because if anything happens, the question is, what did you say? What did you do when you noticed you had this group of patients? If you say nothing, then you are at fault, because it's expected that any nurse should speak up when an assignment is unsafe for them. So after that incident, thankfully, I think I started getting fair assignments after that period. So please speak up for yourself. Don't keep quiet. No one will do it for you. It has to be you. The only thing you can do is to make sure whenever you are speaking up, you are not aggressive in your tone. You are calmly telling them. You are expressing yourself in a way that they will understand. So it's not like, oh, she's aggressive. That's all on the mistakes I made as a new registered nurse in the US. I'm going to be adding a bonus point, which is one thing no one, maybe we don't know so much about, or no one emphasizes it to us, is that patients have the right to say, I don't want this nurse. Nurses have the right to say, I don't want this patient. So if a patient is being rude to you, if a patient is being racist to you, because racism is a thing, though people try to cover up in, oh, I've been to Africa before. I have lots of friends from Nigeria. My brother-in-law is a Nigerian, and then a follow-up question will come. How come you speak so well? And then in my mind, did you really know any Nigerian, or you are just making that up? So people may not like you because of your skin color, or will I say patients may not like you. Patients may not like you because of your skin color. Patients may not like you because of your accent, which is fine. It's on them, not you. Racism is a thing. Some patients are racist. Though some hospitals are strict with when it comes to protecting their nurses or their employees. So if a patient is racist to you, patient is rude to you, rude, they can tolerate, you try to redirect the patient and everything. But when it comes to racism, hospitals are very strict on it. They want to protect that nurse. Some hospitals, they want to protect their nurse or their employee. They want to make sure they're protected. When it comes to violence, they take it very seriously. They protect their people. Some hospitals, again, not every hospital. So one thing I want new nurses to know, new international nurses, if a patient is rude to you, you are not obligated to tolerate their rudeness. It is not your fault that they are sick. So they shouldn't transfer their aggression or transfer whatever thing that they are going through to you. It is expected that you are respectful to your patients, and you too deserve to be respected. If they are racist, you have the right to say, I don't want this patient. Because some patients will outrightly tell you, I don't want you. Get me someone else. I've had a patient tell me, I don't understand anything you say. I need another nurse. I was not offended. It's fine if you don't understand me. Moreover, English is not our first language, so why should I kill myself for you? Some patients are racist, but they try to hide that they are not. But the way they talk to you, the way they treat you, you will know they are. If a patient is rude, a patient is racist, a patient is condescending, a patient is insulting you, you don't have to endure it. You don't have to endure it. We know they are sick, yes, but it doesn't mean they should demean you. It doesn't mean they should treat you like trash. So you have the right to say, I don't want this patient. I don't want to deal with this person. Let someone else take care of them. I feel like they don't emphasize on it so well. So I see nurses deal with disrespectful patients, deal with rude patients, patients that will call you all sorts of names, unprintable names that when you wonder what did I do to offend this person for them to talk to me in this manner or call me this name. I see nurses deal with it, and then at the end of the day they may go home crying. They may go home feeling depressed or feeling less of themselves. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to deal with it. If a patient is rude, if a patient is condescending, if a patient is racist, fire them. Tell the nurse, tell the charge nurse or the team lead, this is what is going on. I can't deal with it. Let someone else take the patient, because these patients, they are nice when they are they are being treated by, their fellow Caucasians. So do not endure disrespect from any patient. Do not endure racism from any patient. Do not endure any sort of abuse from any patient. Make sure you let someone know. Make sure you tell the charge nurse or you report it whichever way. But you don't have to endure it. You can fire them and move on with another patient. It's better to, have such kind of patient for a few hours than to have them for a whole 8 hours or 12 hours, because it's going to mess up with your mental health. Do not endure that. That's the bonus point. That is all for this video. Thank you. See you in the next.